Hello, and welcome to the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 Spoilercast.
Yep.
For Nerds at Large. I meant to put Nerds at Large before that.
Yep. In our first, official standalone spoiler cast.
Yep, I am one of your hosts, Darby Hallman.
I'm the other host, Jeff Mayo.
And Jeff, last night we saw Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
We did.
And what do you think, Jeff?
I liked it a lot.
I also liked it a lot. The more I think about it, I actually like it more, which is good. I do think that it is not as good as the first one.
I need to see the first one again.
I probably need to see the first one again too, granted. But I think this still did everything it needed to do. It still satisfied me in all the ways that I wanted out of a Guardians of the Galaxy sequel. Mm-hmm. We got more of the characters, like it was mostly their like witty banter with each other and everything, which is what I wanted. Mm-hmm. We got character development that I wasn't expecting with like Gamora, especially with her sister, Rocket, big time Rocket, Yondu. Yeah. I didn't expect him. I barely expected him to even be a part of the movie, much less make me emotional. Yeah, at times, and like all these other things. Yeah, I was not expecting a lot of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. And for people who have not heard our spoiler cast on our gaming podcast for What Remains of Edith Finch, this is the way we're going to format these things. Spoiler-free talk to begin with to give general impressions, and then we'll go straight into the spoiler talk. But we will give you a warning.
Yes, we will make it very obvious when we're moving into the spoilers.
Yep.
So yeah, top level, I think it did great. Mm-hmm. The only downside I had to it, which and it's a small downside, I think you somewhat agreed with me. I do think a lot of, especially early on, there was a good many of the jokes were falling flat for me because I kind of felt and I was worried at the beginning because it kind of felt like they were trying too hard.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those. It kind of started out a little bit. I may not feel this strongly as Darby did necessarily,
and I'm weakening.
Yeah. It's not like Darby's like, no, the beginning was trash.
And definitely.
Yeah, it's one of this was always my general fear going to the sequel that they would try too hard with some of their comedy stuff.
Yeah, it kind of just seemed like all their different bits, like all their different like quirky qualities, it just kind of seemed like they were driving those home a little too hard.
Yeah, like they're apparently doing the Telltale Guardians of the Galaxy series.
Yeah. And that's what the thing is, when you have like as many jokes as there are in Guardians of the Galaxy, like every few seconds there's another joke. It's like it's fast paced with just joke. Like a lot of them are gonna miss.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, but you do so many jokes that enough of them hit to keep generally everyone pleased and satisfied.
And some will hit you.
Yeah.
And some won't, and some of those ones that didn't hit you will hit someone else. So
there were times in the theater everyone was laughing, and I was just kind of like, okay, whatever. And then there was other times I was that one idiot that was just cracking up at something. So that's how that goes. But about a quarter of the way through, honestly, a quarter to half of the way through, like it was fine. It was like right on track with what I wanted it to be. One thing that kind of stood out to me. This definitely, without spoilers, kind of, the movie itself, it was a much smaller movie than I thought it would be, and that's in a good way. It was just kind of, like, the story they were telling, for the most part, it was just a lot more focused on these characters, their interactions with each other and everything. Whereas, the first one, right from the get-go, it's the galaxy is at stake, it's we're having to, like, find this thing. They're all driven together by this mission. Mm-hmm. Whereas in this one, it was a lot more of you just kind of felt like you were watching this family interact with each other, and I like that about it. I like the kind of smaller scope of it. So what did you like about it? What stood out to you about this?
I'm sorry, you said general comedy I liked. Fits me well. I liked the general story. I thought it beat my be my expectations of it. I won't say it now, but as far as the villain, that's definitely one of the better Marvel villains.
Yeah.
Now that's a high bar, but
it's not saying much, but yeah, I agree.
The villain's actually a positive instead of a negative in this one.
That is already a plus. Yeah.
And just character interactions, I thought were really well done.
Yeah.
I kind of like these dysfunctional team things, but they obviously do love each other.
Yep. Yeah. I think Marvel does the ensemble cast very well. And this is such a different ensemble than the Avengers cast. You know,
like the Avengers is a bunch of usually solo guys just coming together. Like these guys are more, we're more of a family. And where the Avengers may think of themselves more as co-workers, and if you saw the Thor Ragnarok trailer, you would agree.
A friend from work.
Yes.
And and that's also I kind of like how like Avengers, they're all like highly competent superheroes for pretty much or whatever. But Guardians of the Galaxy, it feels a lot more like they're all just like rogue gunslinger people, or like they're like strong, they're powerful and everything. But it's kind of like they're powerful because they're a team.
Yeah, and as far as like whether they could individually carry a movie, I say no. This is a case of their team is greater than the sum of their parts.
Oh, 100%, yeah. And yeah, that's not a knock against them. I think them as a team, I enjoy watching more than some of the other solo people. But yeah, I don't think you could or should ever have a Star-Lord movie.
Yeah.
Drax the movie. No,
just Baby Groot the movie. Honestly, hey, I wouldn't mind like a couple Baby Groot shorts. I'm surprised that didn't actually happen.
Yeah.
Like a little 4 to 5 minute little things.
Yeah, I'm surprised that wasn't part of the ads.
Yeah, part of the marketing leading up to it.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't go as hard into the Baby Groot, just how adorable he is to sell the movie.
Yeah,
it could have been a lot worse. All right. Well, do you have any other spoiler-free takes?
No. Trying to talk spoiler-free is harder than it looks.
It's very hard. I already think I might have to edit out some things at the beginning because I kind of forgot. We'll see. All right. Well, so just spoiler-free. Jeff, should people see this movie?
Of course. If you're like the first Guardians of the Galaxy, you're a fan of Marvel in general, or a fan of just, I guess, quirky like kind of action movies.
Yeah, you're gonna like this movie.
Yeah.
I see no way you don't, really.
Yeah. Unless you just don't like fun or serious 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Then you're probably not listening to this.
You probably gave up on us already.
Yep.
Okay, well, we are now moving into spoilers. So from this point on, make sure you have seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. If you haven't, pause the podcast, go see it. We'll wait.
Yep.
Okay, spoilers, Jeff.
Yay, freedom.
Yeah, the shackles are off. So, I don't know, where do we begin? The shackles are off and now I don't know what to do.
I guess you can talk about specifically why you felt the way you did about the beginning.
Okay, it was I'm trying to think specific things because a lot of it was just like
general jokes.
It was general things, and it was just from I felt like I was waiting. Like I was waiting for one of the jokes to hit me, and then like I felt like we were getting dangerously far into the movie for like how the jokes still weren't hitting me, and I was like, I don't know, like I didn't really I didn't really laugh at all with Rocket launching the people up in the air and doing all of that. Like it was cute, but it was like I didn't really laugh. I forgot if this was early or late. The one thing that like really like kind of went on really long and I really it didn't hit me at all was the taser face thing.
Oh yeah.
That didn't hit me at all, and I felt like that just would not end. It was just like it just kept going and going and going, and I was like,
"Oh, did I even laugh at that?"
Like everyone was laughing. I was just kind of straight faced. I was like, "All right, taser face, okay."
Yeah, it's one of those things where, especially when you watch this much of this kind of junk as we do, or over the years, like we've seen that kind of thing, whether like his name was, or his kind of thing where his name could have been Fluffy Bumpkin, same thing.
Yeah, his name's funny, but he doesn't realize it. Whatever. Well, and that's even the good parts of Guardians of the Galaxy. I will say a lot of their humor is very structured and very kind of borrowed from other things. Where it's like I told you guys as soon as we left, and I don't even mean this in a bad way, but Guardians of the Galaxy feels like a cartoon to me almost. It reminds me of watching a cartoon as a kid. It just happens to be with crazy special effects.
And I'm pretty sure I told you the same way I feel about the DC Legend Tomorrow and CW. It's the same kind of thing. Dysfunctional group that, obviously love each other, going on crazy, wacky adventures.
Yeah. Well, and just like Groot, them trying to explain to Groot what they want and him going and bringing back like bad things. How many times have you seen that in like a cartoon?
Yeah.
A bunch of times or whatever. But it's still funny because they pull it off. They just...
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, like you said, feel like a cartoon. With a live action setting, it can be difficult to pull that off. And if you
100%.
And if you mess up even slightly, that just makes the whole thing kind of
cringy. Yeah.
And they did it well with this.
No, that's and the thing is that I think part of what makes it work for them. I mean, it's definitely the characters. This movie lives and dies by the characters 100% in their interactions with each other. But they just they own it. They do a joke that they know is kind of like an easy joke, but then they take it another step further. And there's multiple times where initially there's a punchline that doesn't hit me. But then they take that punchline and either do it again so many times that it becomes funny, or they have a punchline and then another punchline that you just weren't expecting, and it's I'm trying to think of examples and I can't really, but that I think basically they're aware. I don't think there was many jokes in here that didn't hit that they thought would hit. There were some at the beginning, but I think for the most part they know what they're doing.
Yeah. The jokes they really committed to, landed. Which is good. Mary Poppins, Darby.
Oh, Mary Poppins was good.
That's one of the ones where the whole theater was
Mary Poppins, y'all. That was great. And I'm sorry, before, I have to get out of my system immediately. The single funniest part of this entire movie was what's her name again? Mantis. I forgot her. Mantis getting hit by debris or whatever the hell it was. You see, they're we had all seen that superhero pose in the trailer and everything. Yeah. So we were expecting it goes on so long that you're all right, yeah, superhero. Bam. So Mantis, watch out. That was everyone else had already stopped laughing and I was still going.
It's stuff like that, and just generally the way they talk and joke around. It's kind of, I know it's done for comedy's sake, but it kind of makes me think, okay, if these were actually real creatures, people, or whatever, it would be more like this, a little more joking, and there would be a chance debris actually hit her or someone.
Yeah.
Not everything would go perfectly.
Yeah.
And like what you said with the group bringing things, stuff like that makes it strains it sound to me more real in a way.
Yeah, I mean, those characters definitely seem real in their relationships.
Other than in other Marvel movies or DC or any superhero movie where everyone's perfect for the most part. They may make a mistake to create drama, but otherwise they're perfect.
Yeah, and that's what their superhero stance gets broken up by this. You kind of just because it's obvious they make nods to the other Marvel movies, and that's another way they're self-aware because Avengers and Iron Man, all these, they have those superhero poses all the freaking time, and they're serious about them. This one, I love that Guardians of the Galaxy, their superhero pose gets completely screwed up by this, and that's one thing I think some people were talking about. It's interesting how Guardians of the Galaxy kind of runs the line between it's not quite as off the wall as Deadpool, and it's not quite as completely out there as that, but it's it's like leaning into that, but it's still kind of leaning into the Marvel. Like they're still like they're saving the galaxy. They're still doing all this.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that balance. I'm glad they're not just ripping off Deadpool, even though they came first. But like that style, Deadpool was long before then, though. Like the Deadpool's a character and that idea and everything.
No, it's definitely a different thing, and yeah, I agree. They run the line well, and they do a good job separating themselves from the other Marvel movies and Deadpool as well, because they are in the middle and it works so well.
Yeah. Like, in this movie, you can simultaneously, like, I care about these characters. I'm tearing up when this blue dude with a mohawk flies into space and kills himself. But in that same movie, Chris Pratt turned into Pac-Man.
Yeah.
In the same film. Like, that happened in the same movie. And it works.
Yeah.
They just pull it off so well.
And they make you feel for a talking raccoon.
Yeah.
In a tree.
Feel really hard. I mean, I love Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
In that role, I love it so much.
I find it funny that they still use Vin Diesel for Groot, for Baby Groot,
even though he's like, I'm sure it's like doctored up so much to where it's like it doesn't even really matter who does it anymore. But
yeah, and they still probably paid him more than they should.
Probably. You get to
put his name on there.
Put his name on the box.
No, it's also interesting for Vin Diesel. He's had Fast 8.
I mean that you have the star of Fast 8 on your cover. Yeah. We can't go through this without mentioning.
I think I was just about to bring this up to you.
Well, mate, Drax stole the show. Yeah, Drax stole the freaking show. This one. I don't know. I mean, like, what was your favorite Drax line? I mean, mine was definitely the entire thing of Mantis being ugly or whatever. Like, you're beautiful on the inside. I don't know. What was your favorite Drax moment, Jeff?
I try to remember these things. That's probably one of them for sure. I don't know why. I could probably laugh more or found it more funny than I should with it brought up in the beginning where he didn't wear that jetpack type thing or whatever because of his nipples. And then when they put it on later behind his back, and then he was like, "Oh, my nipples."
I feel like a lot of people missed that. I feel like everyone was laughing at
laughing was like the previous thing before, and I felt like I was one of the few that heard it.
Like, I did hear it, so it's like, there was so much going on. I do feel like this movie was like fast paced, almost to a fault at times.
Yeah.
Like at times I feel like it could have done from a little bit more breathing time at times, But
well, we got this far without talking about the villain of the superhero movie.
That is true.
Ego, the living planet, aka Star-Lord's Papa.
Star-Lord's Papa. And that was I didn't even see the last trailer. I didn't even know that's where we were going with this.
Oh, I didn't know because of trailers. I just saw news articles that
yeah.
And they hinted at Star-Lord's father is going to be in this.
Yeah. I thought that was very interesting. It was interesting. I kind of it was cool how they kind of brought him in as, this is, it's like, he finally found his dad, whatever. And then it's like, it got bad real quick. It went from and I was thinking, it seemed like that whole plot point came in kind of late. It kind of we had already had a lot of movie, it felt like, before his father even showed up and we got that or whatever. So I didn't even know. That was another thing. For a while, I didn't even know where this movie was going. I was like, so what's the plot? I was enjoying it, but I was like, where are we going? Because until then, it was just like they had that job. Rocket stole the batteries.
Yeah.
They did this stuff, but there was no.
They got separated.
Yeah, they got separated, but there was no real plot until that, and then it just kind of sped up. And it's like, this guy's a freaking bad guy. He's a big bad guy.
Oh yeah. I guess shout out to the fact how well they did splitting the team in half for over half the movie and pulling it off so well.
Yeah, and you felt like you kept up to date with their stories very well.
And every character got the shine. Even
when there was Gamora, Rocket, and Quinn were all separated at the same Gamora with her sister. They had a lot of different plot lines they had to juggle at one time, and they had characters that I honestly didn't really care about from the first one. That now Gamora's sister, I can't remember her name.
Nebula.
And Yondu, obviously.
Yeah.
Both of those, they were kind of like throwing.
See, and this is the thing where the whole is this better than one thing may come into play for me. I feel like I will remember this movie more fondly because generally speaking, I probably like the story more, or it'd be more memorable to me.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because honestly, the first one, I saw it once in theaters years ago, but still, it's one of those cases. It was a case of the characters what made that movie. The story was nothing to write home about.
No, I still want, like, when I walked out of the Guardians, I was like, that's my favorite Marvel movie ever, and I still think it is. Mm-hmm. But the story was not. No, there was nothing that special. Yeah. But that wasn't what it was about, really. Yeah. And that's what I got in some arguments with people who thought that like the story was really good. I was like, no, it's kind of just a normal, typical
origin story.
Yeah. But what I loved so much about the first Guardians was, I mean, and I think it might be a little unfair. I mean, like, what I loved so much was just the way they introduced these characters, the way they all came together, and I loved watching that relationship develop. And I just loved how, like, Marvel so effortlessly got all these characters that you don't no one cares about. You don't know anything about any of these characters, and they made us care about all of them. Like, there was nothing in Guardians that was familiar to tie us in. Yep. They had to take it all from scratch. And I kind of love that. Whereas, and going into this, like, yeah, they made us care about Nebula and Yondu, but we already cared about the whole other cast. So that's kind of an unfair thing, because I think I just like what Guardians, the first one, accomplished more than anything else, and I like the characters. And I just think that I was laughing, like, thoroughly throughout the whole thing instead of... I didn't feel like there was as many dips in the first one. But that's...
Again, I probably need to realize the first one, yeah. Well, also, good for Marvel, like... Obviously, Darby, correct me if I'm wrong, or anyone else. This feels like it's the first time where people have found the first movie and the sequel good.
Yeah.
For a Marvel movie.
Yeah, because
Avengers, Iron Man, Captain America, people did not like the first one that well, but love Winter Soldier. Thor.
Yeah. I don't like either Thor.
Exactly. So, yeah, this is the first time. It seems like the first two movies in a series from Marvel have been, I guess you say, hits.
Yeah, no, like, some people, I mean, yeah, the most you could say is that, like, maybe the first one was better, but I don't see anyone saying this movie is bad, because I don't know how you do.
I mean, yeah, especially if you like the first one.
Yeah, it's just...
So, I guess, we'll go on. I think most people will agree Guardians overall is the best, like, Marvel series.
I think. I mean, like, both of these movies are probably my top two Marvel movies, still. I mean, even Civil War,
and we got a third one confirmed.
I hope they just keep going, because again, I feel like they lend themselves to sequels, because it's just this ensemble cast you can go through. And if they could, like, since now that I've seen, they've handled one where it wasn't an origin story. It was just like you go straight in. It was almost like a comic book. You just went like it was just like you kind of like drop back in on these characters in the middle of their adventure or whatever. Since they handled it once, I feel that they could keep doing it. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel as long as they could keep making stories to tell, like, you don't. Well,
they already set up the next movie. Aisha, the Golden Priestess girl.
You're right. Yeah, with Adam.
I think that's obviously going to be the next movie.
Yeah.
Which
I'm down. Yeah.
And they'll be after.
Also, I love
Thanos thing is done.
I love so much that they almost set those people up like they were going to be the villains, but then, like, the whole time they were just kind of incompetent. Like, they can't even destroy one ship. They just I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just kind of funny to keep, they definitely keep going back to them, and it's just like, it was.
I mean, they pretty much set up then, it's like when the Ego showed up, it's like, oh, this is going to be his, he's going to be the Guardian's buddy.
Yeah.
Be a good dad to Star-Lord.
Yeah.
And
there was a number of
kill everyone.
There was a number of ways it could have gone, so it was kind of unpredictable.
But we can say one thing about Ego: he's got game. Having all those children on all those different planets.
He has a lot of ladies.
Yep.
Well, weird alien ladies. Like, there was some Medusa lady, and
there was. And then when you went to the thing with his kids skeletons. I saw something like a horse skull.
That's weird.
Yeah, he's like some geeky stuff.
And shout out to his hair in the flashback, like in the 70s or whatever.
I liked in the his little mannequin looking thing when he was showing him going throughout the worlds. He had the same outfit and hair on every planet.
Yeah. Oh, and shout out to I thought they actually made young Kurt Russell look like CGI.
Yeah,
it looked real.
Young
to
Kurt
me.
Russell,
Yeah. That's what I've read. A few people said that they thought it looked weird or whatever, but I thought they did a good job with it.
Fine.
And a lot of times they don't. A lot of times they don't do a good job with CGI remakes of characters. Cough cough Rogue One.
I don't know.
I know you don't know, but other people do.
I guess one thing you can potentially say that could have been weird about the whole ego thing was the fact that he told Peter / Star-Lord about his mom. About he's the one who killed her.
Yeah, he didn't really.
I mean, you could argue he didn't have to do that.
If he was already completely game for deceiving him and just taking advantage of him, then why would you even bother to tell him? Yeah,
that's the only thing. Story wise, you can find a problem with, but it's whatever.
Yeah.
So Darby.
Never mind. Now he does not. I was gonna say so now Star-Lord has some minor god powers.
That was something I was kind of slightly worried about. They do.
Yeah.
He keep them because now he'll just be OP. Then he's okay. But then I thought okay, when the villain thing came, or the twist that Ego was a villain. Okay, they're gonna do something.
Gonna lose it, yeah.
Ego's gonna die, and then Star-Lord loses his powers.
Yeah.
That's an obvious thing.
Yeah, we don't need Star-Lord to be the Superman of Marvel.
Yeah. So, I guess looking to the future, we're looking forward to the future of Guardians of the Galaxy. Looking forward to
Infinity War.
Yeah. One thing to be interesting because, they can do it well. People have done it well with crossover things, how they'll mesh the tone with, Guardians and the Avengers and, see if they make it work.
Yeah, because they're very different.
Yeah.
So I hope that can work. All right.
Mm-hmm. And I'm interested to see. I guess they hinted about. There might be something that definitive somewhere on the internet, but I'm interested to see if Mantis is a permanent member.
I hope so. I was surprised by how much. Yeah. I kind of expected it to be a little more of a throwaway character.
And I wonder if Kraglin, you know who that is? The Ravager dude.
Oh yeah.
Who ended up with the?
I don't think
with the mo.
But yeah,
I had to look it up with the antenna. Who got the arrow? I wonder if he's gonna be sticking around.
Well, they made him surprisingly into a character that he actually cared about, which I wasn't expecting. I thought he was just kind of gonna be.
And again, is
generic Captain.
Oh wait, well Nebula already went away, but obviously she'll come back at some point. So wait, so it may have been confirmed what Nebula is gonna be in Infinity War. Because Thanos is involved.
How many movies away from now is Infinity War?
I'll talk to the people, Darby.
There's not another Avengers or anything.
No, that should be the next Avengers. I'm just gonna look at the release date.
Well, say also, I'm talking to people. I also really like the Gamora storyline with Nebula. That was. I didn't expect that, and I didn't know I wanted that, but that was interesting to they're back and forth with that. I also like how freaking crazy she was fighting, she just rams the ship into the cave or whatever. She's just completely lost her mind.
Okay, Infinity War is May 4th next year.
Oh, that's not far. Yeah.
That's what it's there right now, and there's no reason to believe that they won't meet that.
So, and the Guardians of the Galaxy will probably be in there somewhere.
Oh, that's already confirmed.
But we don't know how much though. You said that they might come at the end or something.
I think it was Alex. I will say this.
I don't know.
Spoilers. If you've been avoiding casting news or something.
We're pretty much done with the Guardians of the Galaxy things. Yeah, spoilers for whatever for Infinity War.
It's not really a spoiler. There's a picture of Robert Downey Jr. or someone, Tom Holland, who plays Spider-Man, and Chris Pratt on set together.
Oh yeah.
And they've already confirmed it, so that's whatever.
Yeah, we always, but yeah.
So unless you completely avoid trailers going forward.
Yeah. So, that will probably be the next. I mean, that'll be the next time we see them.
Oh yeah,
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, yeah. No way they're going to release a sequel within a year.
No.
I guess I'm interested to see when. Obviously, right now I probably don't have anything, but when they're planning to get Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 out.
Yeah. Well, do you have any closing thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy, Jeff?
Not really. You know what I'm surprised we never really brought up? We didn't really bring out Rocket or Groot that much at all.
Oh, we didn't bring. Yeah, we didn't bring.
Or
Groot really. There's a lot to talk about in this movie.
Yep.
Emo adolescent Groot.
Yeah.
It was
we didn't talk about
yeah,
all the post-credit scenes, which were kind of disappointing.
Yeah,
if I'm being
most
honest.
of them were pretty throwaway.
Yeah, I mean, the Groot thing was fun. I guess
I know the other group, like for people who are fans of the comics, like I think those were like the original.
They were original. And
yeah,
Yondu was an original Guardian.
Yeah. So.
And obviously the Aisha, High Gold Priestess person, whatever, is that's important. Yeah, I've been pleasantly surprised of they used Baby Groot less than I thought they would, and
I was worried about.
Yeah,
that.
I was pleased with that.
I think they used him a tasteful amount.
Yeah,
like he was adorable, and he was like a little baby or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think they used him enough to where I wasn't annoyed with him, which
that's what I was worried about.
I expected to be annoyed.
See, that's a good thing. We had our fears about this, but they did good work.
They did great. Where's this rank for you for Marvel movies before we go out?
I don't know about exact order, but I don't see why it wouldn't at least be in my top 5 up there with original Guardians, Winter Soldier, Civil War. I don't know what the other one would be. Probably Iron Man or Avengers, but yeah, up there. I don't know the exact order.
Yeah,
it's
definitely probably in my
the
top 3
thing
at
is,
least.
Those 6 I just named are like up here around there, and then most of the other ones are it's a pretty big gap.
yeah.
For the most part.
Well, let us know what you think about Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep, and let us know what you think of this Spoilercast. Give us some advice to how we can do better, because we're probably going to be doing at least 2 of these movie ones the next 2 months, because Spider-Man Homecoming is coming out in 2 months, and Wonder Woman in less than a month. This
is kind of our next project, just like expanding out from the gaming podcast, trying to expand our horizons, as they say. Yep. All right, well, I believe that's it. So thank you so much for listening.
Yep, thank you very much.